Hello everyone, I would like to review with you task number 2 based on the assessment, evaluation and feedback presentation. Number 1, you need to read the task which was given to the students. Let's do it together. The task is called My Pen Pal. This task was taken from the Bank of Performance Assessment Tasks in English. Each student should write a letter to a pen pal who lives in an English-speaking country. Before you start, your students, answer the questions below. The answers will help you decide what to write in your letter. And they need to make sure that they understand and they check with you the checklist on page 3 before they begin working. And after they finish doing the exercise, they should read the checklist again and check each item. So this is the checklist. The checklist includes 8 items divided in 2 parts. Part 1 refers to the 2 questions that we saw above. They need to answer the questions. Now in part 2 they need to make sure that they wrote a letter, they wrote the date, they wrote at least 5 sentences. They used their answers from part 1. They signed their name, started each sentence with a capital letter and ended it with a period. And of course, that they checked their work. Okay, so what are the questions? They need to answer, what do you want to tell your pen pal about yourself? They need to decide if they want to tell some hobbies, about some things that they like to do on their holiday. And then they need to ask a question. They need to ask a pen pal a question. What do you like to play? What if they like to play an instrument? Maybe they can ask what kind of sports do you like? Of course, this question is based on the material that we have taught our students during our lessons. If we taught something in the present simple, so they can ask questions in the present simple. Part 2 is writing the letter. They need to use the answers from part 1 and they need to write at least 5 sentences. They need to remember to write the date and sign their name. Of course, pay attention to spelling and grammar. Okay, so let's go back now to our So we read the pupil's task. Number 2, make sure you understand the student's checklist. We did, and the teacher's rubrics attached. Let's check the rubrics. This is the rubric. There are 2 parts to the teacher's rubric. A rubric is a table, or you can say a checklist for us as teachers to evaluate our students or to assess our students' papers. You need to check for part 1 to give your students 5 points. In this case, we need to check that they answered both questions. In part 2, that they wrote at least 5 sentences, that the content is relevant, the content corresponds to part 1, that the writing is well organized, the vocabulary is varied, and of course that there is a skillful use of basic language with spelling, word order, singular plural forms, and etc. If students missed one of these requirements, then you have to take off points, but you know on what you're taking and why you're taking points off, so you can explain your students. So we understood the checklist, we understood the rubrics, and now number 3, please provide written feedback and evaluation for the tasks presented by 3 students in the file below. So we have 3 different students who presented their letters to their pen pals. 1, 2, 3. As you can notice, we have 3 different levels. Okay, so we think about, we see, we read, we check our students' paper. And number 4, I paraphrased this better because you had many questions. So number 4 is basically uploading the feedback that you wrote onto our Moodle. Okay? Number 5, you can define if you would add or remove some of the aspects included on the rubrics. Remember, this is our rubric. And that's it. So you read the paper, you understand the checklist, the rubric, and then you give your feedback as a teacher. That's it. You upload your exercise, and if you want to add something, comments, or define something else, you're welcome to do so. So I wish you good luck, and I am here. If you need anything, give me a call or send a message. As be'atzlacha. Good luck, everyone.